Ruh-roh. Beloved streamer Valkyrae is coming under fire for a recent podcast appearance, and the drama is, wait for it, doll-licious.
Is this a voodoo doll?
Content creators Valkyrae and Sony have been broken up for years, but they still make headlines as a pair from time to time. Their relationship recently came up on a new episode of the Press Escape podcast when Valkyrae's co-host Alitha gave her a voodoo doll she'd made of Sony. The gift and the following banter, during which Alitha commented,
I hate that man.
And Valkyrae jokingly suggesting testing the doll, prompted a lengthy response from Sony on social media. In his post, Sony said that he hasn't spoken to Valkyrae in 3 years, but felt compelled to say something, because he was upset by the voodoo doll segment. He wrote, "Our relationship was toxic on both sides, but nobody ever cheated or was physically abusive. We both were hurt for our own reasons and hopefully healed at our own paces." Sony went on to say that even though he doesn't have a way to contact Valkyrae privately, he'd be open to having a conversation with her to put some of their past relationship issues to rest. Longtime Valkyrae fans know that she and Sony had a pretty ugly breakup, which is why we keep hearing about it years after it happened. This isn't the first time that Sony has talked about having a different view of the breakup than Valkyrae, but it is the first time he's publicly said that the relationship was a toxic one. Fans still don't know all of the ins and outs of what happened between Valkyrae and Sony, but some of them are hoping they're about to learn more details. Valkyrae was with Sony when things really started taking off in her career. They dated for about 4 years and seemingly broke up sometime in 2020, though both have hinted that they had a bit of an on-again, off-again relationship for a while. That may be where the hurt feelings really came in, because oddly enough, most of the public drama between Valkyrae and Sony has occurred after the split. When the breakup initially happened, it really seemed like the two had parted on mostly amicable terms, with no major regrets. Valkyrae even defended Sony from some angry fans during a 2021 stream, explaining that they'd broken up simply because they'd grown apart and wanted different things. She'd also poked fun at people implying that she'd been disrespecting her ex by talking to another huge streamer, Corpse Husband.
Wow, you're on the phone with Corpse behind Sony's back. Does that make you jealous? Does that make you upset?
Over time, both Valkyrae and Sony have made comments that cast their breakup in a different light. In 2022, Sony caught some heat after talking on stream about having a friends with benefits relationship with one of his exes, which many assumed to be Valkyrae. Later that year, Valkyrae opened up about her past relationships on an episode of the 100 Thieves podcast, saying,
I've had relationships in the past where like my partner will compare their success to mine. And it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's the worst thing.
That podcast prompted Sony to tell his viewers that he was considering going on streamer Trainwreck's podcast to lay out his side of the story. That never happened, but now that their issues are back in the news, maybe Sony will have more to say. A number of fans online seem to have been caught off guard by Sony's response to the Press Escape podcast, seeing Alitha's voodoo doll as a simple joke. Some have argued that since Valkyrae basically just laughed it off and moved on, Sony should have done the same. Some put the blame fully on Alitha for stirring up drama with the doll. Others were supportive of Sony's post and criticized Valkyrae for still talking about the relationship 4 years after it ended. Others think that even though Alitha made the voodoo doll, the fact it exists at all must prove that Valkyrae still says bad things about Sony to her friends. For her own part, Valkyrae offered a few brief responses to Sony's message. During her next stream, she said,
I actually am curious how both sides were toxic. Like, the only toxic thing I did was get back with him over and over and over again and not become a housewife.
Sony eventually deleted his post about Valkyrae, but she still had a few things to say on the matter. During an October 30th stream, Valkyrae told her audience that she'd reached out to him to explain that she still needed to talk to him about how those posts made her feel and look to other people. She explained that by reaching out, quote, hopefully they can come to a civil end. It seems that this discussion may have given her more peace than she expected. Not long after this confrontation, Valkyrae posted a simple message on X, closure.